So today in Stadia News, we have a jam-packed video full of news to catch up on, but today is going to be headlined by the big news that John Justice has reportedly left Google and is no longer VP at Stadia, and well, we'll discuss that in today's video. We also have a new game headed to Stadia that is a classic, a game we're anticipating that just got rated, 3 new games that have been greenlighted to be developed for Stadia, and finally, the Outriders patch and some more random news that will rapid fire in this video. Like always, hit that red button and subscribe to always be up to date with Stadia news. Well, today we got the news that John Justice has left Google. This was first reported by a website called The Information, then later confirmed to 9 to 5 Google that John Justice is indeed no longer with Google and that they wish him well on his next step. Now, there is no other information tied to this story, and John himself has not even updated his LinkedIn page. Now, John was the VP of Stadia and was the lead for the consumer experience team, and was also frequently one of the faces and frontmen of Stadia, even more so than Phil Harrison himself. And for me, I really liked John Justice the guy, so this was a bit sad to hear. Now, there is literally a bunch of reasons John could have left, and honestly, it does me no good to speculate on what that could be, as there just isn't enough information one way or another. Unfortunately, depending on how you've been looking at Stadia in recent times, you're probably already making up your mind as to what this could mean. For me, literally, I'm just down the middle right now, and I'm just gonna wait and hear if anything ends up being leaked out as to more information about this story. Obviously, Stadia has lost quite a bit of talent in the recent past here, with notable people like Jade Raymond, so there is a case to be worried, but there's also a case not to be, as these things do tend to happen. I mean, Amazon's Luna's president recently just left, and I have zero worry for Luna's future. But for now, I think at the moment there just isn't much for me to gather on this matter. Also, some keen eyes pointed out that within the company, a few people have been promoted to product manager, and all of this recent, so there has been some changes happening within the Stadia team. At this point, I think the key is going to be to see if John gets replaced, and this just cements further for me that we really do want to hear what's happening beyond 2022 in a more concrete fashion. And for the record, I have repeatedly called for that on this channel, and it's evidenced by my many videos and past live streams. But I want to say I've talked about things that have shown that Stadia is moving in a really good direction and is continuing forward with the platform itself. Heck, there is even more evidence of that in some of the news later in this video. So all in all, we're going to be kind of in a wait and see mode to see if John Justice ends up getting replaced. I personally got to talk to him a few months ago. He was very helpful with my questions. The fact that he even took time out of his schedule to come help me out and point me in the right direction. I'm essentially a nobody, so he's a pretty kind dude. I do want to say that I absolutely wish him well in the future projects. And of course, guys, let me know down below what you guys think this all means. I mean, do you guys think this is a positive or negative, or you're just like me in a wait and see mode? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, so write that in the comments. Recently reported by cooptimist.com, Stadia is set to get the House of Dead remake, which isn't out of the realm considering that Forever Entertainment is a publisher set to work on games for Stadia. Now, I'm really only familiar with this game through the arcades and having that toy gun and shooting at the screen and having a blast, so I'm not exactly sure how this game's going to work out without that gun on Stadia. It makes sense for the Switch, where this game's also set to arrive, because you could use those Joy-Cons as an aiming device, but Stadia, you really only have the keyboard, mouse, and then the controller, so the game might be a bit interesting by aiming with just your gamepad. The game will also have couch co-op for the record. Either way, this remake should be a fun one, but no details yet on when we'll see this drop. Like always, stay tuned. Well, in case you missed it, the Play Anywhere Game Jam from Stadia has ended, and this was an event that saw 10 developers come in with the hopes of making some games and getting chosen by Stadia for the Stadia Makers program. 10 teams essentially made a game on the fly within about a week, and 3 were finally picked. The first game is Bushido Bots, a red light, green light game pitting 2 bots against each other. Another game that got accepted is called Fragments, and this is a puzzle platformer where you're working with a buddy. And then the last game is a game called Battle Billiards, and this is like a non-stop billiards game where you don't even wait for the balls to stop moving before you start hitting them. Now, these were the 3 games that will get further development and will receive some of that sweet Stadia Makers cash. These games are probably going to look radically different when they actually release on Stadia. Now, there was one game that I liked called Jumbo Shrimp, and that I was kind of disappointed that it didn't make it into the top 3. If Kirk Lakes from Stadia watches this video, I'd see about potentially getting that one on Stadia. Gave me some of those over overcooked vibes, and I love those types of games, and they're really good family type games, so definitely consider getting that one on the platform. As I keep telling you guys, this has been one of the cooler things to see for Stadia, as these are the games that are probably won't come out to next year, even beyond, but it's cool to see a glimpse of some of these future Stadia titles make their way onto the platform, and I do wish all the devs luck. I can't wait to check out their games and hopefully play them with you guys here on the channel, so good stuff all around. Alright, finally we got an Outriders patch, and the current consoles are at 1.07, but people are reporting that Stadia is showing 1.04. Now keep in mind it was stuck at patch 1.0 for a while, but some people are saying the patch visually isn't updating, but that Stadia is indeed lined up with the current patches. Pretty confusing overall, but I'm also hearing that that inventory bug has not been fixed, so you now might run into that issue that everyone else has been having. Either way, this is a bit of a mess to say the least. Moving on though, Cyberpunk patch 1.22 is live, and it's a good one for Stadia as they fix some memory management issues which should help see less crashes, also improved GPU performance of skidding and cloth rendering, good stuff all around. And finally we saw that Riders Republic got rated with the ESRB for Stadia, and I'm really hoping that this one releases this summer, maybe even really soon, so really neat stuff all around. With that guys, today was jam-packed with news. I want to know, what are your thoughts on John Justice leaving Google and Stadia, the House of Dead remake, and the Play Anywhere jam, and anything else that we discussed in this video? Keep in mind I always read all your comments, so write down below. Also like and subscribe, especially if you're new. I'm Sunny, and I'll see you in the clouds.